Through a national campaign from our UCC office, we have been called to be the church. With very little initial direction and definition, we were free to interpret that call as a church, as a community of Christians living, working, and being in a greater community facing a host of challenges. At St. Paul's UCC in Fleetwood, we heard that as an opportunity to examine our goals and our beliefs and include everyone in that examination. So we started asking questions. We started looking around to see what we are doing, what we need to do, and what we should be doing. We started a conversation about what it means to be the church. And this is what we are hearing. We have some challenges to address. Our physical space requires attention. Our financial goals and operating assumptions need consideration. The breadth of our missions to our communities, local, regional, national, and global, demand focus and clarity of vision. The changing landscape of our congregation urges reconsideration of our needs and wants as a faith family. We are hearing you, and we appreciate your participation in these ongoing conversations. Our church is our home, and it's best for us to improve it. But what does that mean? How will we improve it? As leaders in our church, we look at these 4 areas for consideration and action. We are blessed to have a vibrant and active body of leadership taking the helm to address these areas. We started this conversation over a year ago about what we needed to do to sustain the building. We came to realize that although we can develop a comprehensive list of what we want to do, and even have a reasonable idea of how we want to do it, our mission cannot be to simply maintain our church. These are things we need to talk about, things we are talking about. We identified these areas when we asked for your help during last April's Saturday morning vision discussion meeting. You helped us prioritize with the Taking the Pulse survey, and we continue to shape our response in part through our think tank activities. It is a challenging list, but if we dig into our history, we will most likely find that our church, this church, St. Paul's of Fleetwood, in all of its many forms, has faced these challenges multiple times. Consider the abridged history from the laying of the first cornerstone in 1841, through expansion and renovation, even as the congregation separated and the Union Church was dissolved, into the purchasing of our current property and the nearly 25-year process of groundbreaking, building, and dedicating this very building here at Franklin and Arch Streets, right up to our facility audit last year. As a congregation, we have faced these challenges before. So what are we going to do different now, so that we and our children don't end up in this situation again in 50, 75, or even 100 years from now? We need to find our why. Consider for a moment, what are the things you proudly tell people about our church? What are the stories that make you smile wider and stand taller? I venture a guess that it is not about roofing materials or energy-efficient light bulbs or even sewer lines. It probably involves mission work, baptisms and confirmations, fellowships and opportunities to connect, preschool, handbells, Bible study, youth events, choir practice, counseling, quiet conversations, moving musical performances, warm cups of coffee, prayer shawls, and, of course, pot pie. I'm guessing that the things that make you smile when you talk about St. Paul's UCC in Fleetwood, the things that make your heart swell and you want to replicate for the friends who don't know, who don't come here to be part of this thing called church, involve the life and the family and the community of this church, the ways that we are the church, the ways that we continue to be the church. So we take responsibility. We must have a purpose that is reflective of our beliefs and mission as a Christian community. We need to be sure that our why, our reason for being, is the driving force behind our decisions, not the need to fix a leaky roof or meet a building code or save some money on efficient lighting. We need to be 100% certain of why we are doing those things before we dare ask our community to help us fix them. It is easy to identify what is wrong, but to truly be the church that Jesus calls us to be the church for our community in the way that Christ commands us, we need to be certain and united in why we are doing all of this. So we ask questions, we keep talking, and we act. We make the best decisions we can with the best information we can get. We acknowledge that we are all the church, and we are all in need of nourishment, spiritually, physically, socially, emotionally, financially, holistically. As we move forward into a new year, we are mindful of our call to be the church. We are conscious of our responsibilities to ourselves, to each other, to our communities, and to Christ. So what happens next? Well, find out where we're going with this at our annual congregational meeting this Sunday, November 12th.